Welcome back. People are still buzzing about Amazon's plan for a drone delivery system. And now other companies like UPS coming out of the woodwork to say they've actually been investing in drone technology as well. Is this the beginning of drone wars? Our next guest thinks so, and he's putting his money where his mouth is. Amish Shah from Sierra Maya Ventures joins us. The panel's here with me. Amish, first of all, this drone thing was not a PR stunt. It sounds like there's already a small industry cropping up. What's your involvement with it?
Absolutely, Kelly. Great. Thanks for having me. My involvement is we're so bullish on the drone revolution. We feel like it's going to be the next mobile application type of market from 2007. There's already been $40 million already invested this year in the first 9 months by major venture capitals like Andreessen and Horowitz, Google Ventures, and a few others. And we put our bet on a company called Skycatch. The founders are Christian Sands and Chris Baumgartner, and we love their vision, we love their energy, we love what they're doing. And guys like Ram Shriram, who's on the board of Google, is there, and also early employees from Facebook and Google are also part of it.
I mean, because the problem is you can, I guess, bet on the technology, bet on drones becoming more common, but you would have to be betting that regulation doesn't interfere. And just given the initial way that a lot of the public is sitting here going, wait a minute, are we talking about my skies filled with drones? That might be a risky bet to make, Amish.
Well, Kelly, you know, I think what Jeff Bezos really did is really give public awareness to everyone. What's really happening is it's actually being used all over the world right now for commercial applications. It's big in mining, it's big in energy, it's big in construction, it's big in search and rescue missions right now. There's even things in Africa going on that a lot of people don't know about that help with poachers when they're going after elephant tusks. So we feel after 2015, when the FAA rules do change, the industry is going to be tremendous. We're talking 10 to 15 billion in the first 3 years that'll increase the economy,
right, Andrew,
and maybe up to 100
is this
billion.
all happening? I mean, do you see any reason why we're not going to move towards a landscape that is dotted with drones?
Well, I mean, I think it's just a really bad idea. I mean, there are so many legal liability issues. There's so many safety issues. I mean, what's going to happen the first time when a drone crashes into somebody's home? What's going to happen the first time a drone crashes into a, crashes into a school bus? There are also privacy concerns. I personally don't want commercial interests like Amazon flying over my house, seeing what sort of car I have in my driveway, what I have in my backyard, and then sending me email solicitations to buy some of this stuff. It's just Andrew? A ridiculous idea.
Andrew, what happens when a car drives into someone's house?
It's different.
Do we ban cars?
It's different because it's not a business operating that car for the simple reason that, hey, look, with Amazon.com, if you want anything, you can get it within 24 hours. A lot of the things you can download in seconds if you're talking about music or a book. There's no need to say people have to have this stuff within 30 minutes.
Go ahead,
Hey, Andrew. Andrew, if you think about this, you know, I'm in the state of North Carolina. When the Wright brothers were thinking about who's going to be first in flight with the airplanes out there, everyone was thinking they're crazy. Now, if you look what's happening with just that industry, okay, then you talk about what's going on with satellites. You don't think the FAA is going to have regulations that are going to protect us? Safety's first, and that's what all these startups are all about, is making sure that everyone's safe.
No, there are a couple of things to unpack in that, though, because there's the issue of kind of airspace safety, and then there's the issue of surveillance. And again, I understand that there are things happening on that front that we should know about anyway, Josh. I mean, if you think about what SpaceX is doing, part of the case for SpaceX is basically selling, surveillance to hedge funds, for example.
So Amish, all of those applications that you mentioned, it's really exciting stuff, and I agree with you. This is definitely coming, but I agree with Andrew as well that I don't know if we're going to make that leap from things like wildlife rescue and mining safety into an uncontrolled environment with a lot of civilians, like a city or even a suburb. I think that we have to draw the line somewhere. I'm not sure if anyone wants their children walking beneath
Kelly?
Let me just say this, Kayla. What would be uncontrolled about it? Because maybe you argue all that we need is to regulate the skies the same way that we do the roads.
Right. Well, I mean, that's certainly an argument that needs to be had. But my question for Amish is a more basic one, because you referenced $10 to $15 billion for this industry potential in the next 3 years. But I think of this as a very limiting technology, because you can only deliver something under 5 pounds. You can only deliver it in relatively rural areas, because how are you going to get a drone to a multi-family home? I mean, that technology isn't really there yet. So I see this as relatively limited in the type of customer that you're actually able to reach, the type of product you're actually able to deliver. You can't deliver, high worth products, because those will need a signature in most cases. I mean,
you say, excuse me, to the office, I have to go home and sign for my drone. Amish?
Yeah, let me answer that question for you, Kayla, and you bring up a great point. You know, everyone's focused on just what Amazon's doing since they're spending $6 billion a year just on shipping. For them, it's a win. So if they could cut into that, get more profit, it's a win. What people are missing here, though, is, you know, think of your FedEx truck, UPS. I mean, FedEx is looking into this, UPS is looking into this, Google, everyone is looking into this right now that no one really knows about because it's really early. We're in its infancy of the revolution. But think about your FedEx truck and how a truck will come out, and you'll see 5 to 10 drones coming out. So it'll be really safe the way they'll be shipping some of these packages.
I personally will run when I see that. I will run very far away.
Amish, let me ask you
Attacking the drones.
Dan, quickly.
Amish, let me ask you a quick question. 70% of the United States is overweight or obese. Is there any plans to deliver roast beef sandwiches or cheeseburgers? Because that's how you're going to get it in.
You know, it's funny. If you look, and if you Google a TechCrunch Disrupt, Skycatch had the taco copter. What they really did is they showed how a drone came up and dropped Taco Bell. So absolutely, if you want your fast food, it'll be there for you.
So you're saying Amazon stole this idea from them, actually?
Yes, it's really
It always comes back to the taco
who you want to
copter.
buy. The taco, the octocopter. Amish, thank you. This, again, we're all kind of dismissing it at first, but it does sound like the industry is moving towards something like this being the case in the not-too-distant future. Some investment ideas there as well. Thank you, guys. The minimum wage debate has been raging on our Twitter feed ever since the interview yesterday we had with a frustrated McDonald's worker. Reminder.
McDonald's as a corporation has well over enough money to pay their workers more, pay us what we deserve.
Harvard economist Martin Feldstein will weigh in on that next. We'll also talk about the job market, the impact of Obamacare, Fed tapering, and much, much more. Stay with us.